the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Good to have you on board. Championship week continues. Mitch Moss, Pauly Howard live downtown Las Vegas, Circa Resort and Casino. In this hour, the latest news on the big NBA card that we have tonight. Who's in, who's out, point spread, total moves, potentially. And Matt Youmans on the program to give out his best bets and a ton of futures for these conference tournaments. Here, we'll get into tomorrow's numbers that are available and some of these games that are still going on with live betting numbers at DraftKings. Texas currently has a 7-point lead over Vanderbilt. It's 72-65. They are now under 2 minutes to play in the game. Texas is 7.5 in-play. Total is 148.5. I have that before the game started. I'm not comfortable with it right now. I need 12 points to go over. What is Vandy going to foul on every situation imaginable?
Yes.
Let's hope so.
Hope so, yep.
Nevada leads Fresno by 13. They were in control, cruising at halftime. They were about 12.5 before the game started. They're 16.5 right now, live betting. LaSalle and UMass, good game going on, 8-10, 13.5 to go second half. UMass leads by 4, 52-48. Updated total here, 154.5. And I tell you, all the projection sites like that game to go over, mid-140s before it tipped off. And you have a couple of bets on Lamar before the game started, and they are right there tight with McNeese at halftime. They trail 33-30.
Number made no sense. It's a 1 seed against a 2 seed. It is on McNeese Home's floor, and they are 14-point favorite. I don't get how Lamar was a 14-point dog in this game. So we'll see if McNeese can run them out in the second half, but it's tight. They were up 9 at one point, but it's been sluggish and low scoring, and I don't mind plus 450 money line second half.
On Lamar.
Yeah.
All right. They're plus 9.5 for the game.
Yeah. I didn't get that number at all. Didn't make any sense.
Tipping off here shortly in the Big Ten, Iowa and Ohio State. Ohio State 5.5 total, around 153.5. You like the Buckeyes?
Yep.
Moneyline parlay.
Yep.
Okay.
Nothing for Fran out the door, and Iowa, horrific defense. Make the Buckeyes get it done and try to punch their ticket. A lot of places have them last 4 in, last 4 out, that kind of business.
I brought this up earlier in the show. The desperation mode that the Hawkeyes would be in here potentially with McCaffrey's, it probably is his last game here, his last go-around. But does that outweigh how putrid the program is and how bad the team is this year? Right? I mean, they're 16-15 for a reason.
Yeah, the Nebraska one was good, though. I mean, that's your fallback. If you want Iowa, that's your comeback.
All right.
Right? Played hard for them and knocked Nebraska out of the tournament with that performance. Like Buckeyes and like Baylor as well. Baylor better be careful here, too. Which, you remember you had that, 2-week stretch, 3-week stretch where Kansas State was really playing good ball. But since then, no. Goes back to the team that was struggling early on. So Baylor, 5 in this game, and Baylor now 10 seed, 9 seed, last 4 in. Who knows now? I mean, with that West Virginia loss as well, which is horrendous.
Right.
But Baylor better be careful here and make sure they get a win.
Big Ten later on tonight. USC takes on Rutgers. USC a small favorite, 1.5 in this game. Total around 151. Shop around 151.5 or 152.5. We talked about this earlier. The best teams ATS, and with totals in college basketball, USC has been now. They've turned it on late. They're one of the best teams to the over on the year. All the projection sites have this game almost touching 160. But the betting market says, hold your horses here, Johnny. Don't think so. They're betting it the other way. Okay, so what do you have for tomorrow's numbers? What are you seeing?
Houston is 17.5 against Colorado.
Wow.
To start the day with the Big 12. 127.5 the total. Florida Atlantic, 9.5 against Charlotte. G-Dub, 6.5 against Fordham. Wisconsin is 7, and this just went up. They're 7.5 against Northwestern. 141.5 the total. I would think I'd get an angry Wisconsin team.
I would hope
after
so.
what happened against Penn State. That was terrible. 8 in the morning, Pacific time. The MAC, the 1 seed, Akron, lost 1 conference game all year. Made the tournament last year, 11.5 against Bowling Green. The Bonnies are 1.5 against Duquesne. That's also 8:30 in the morning. Money coming in on Indiana. Oregon down to 1.5 against Indiana. That's a 9 a.m. game.
I'll chime in. I have some of these games pulled up right now, Ken Palm. For what it's worth, I will point this out. Indiana and Oregon, he has the Ducks 74-72.
Wow.
So pretty much right there. The numbers, the betting market will be very close to the Ken Palm numbers in pretty much all these.
Yep. Horrific beat the last time. Duke up to 22.5 against Georgia Tech.
Wow.
Ooh. Iowa State was 1. They're now 2.5 against BYU. Interesting. Okay, dig into this one. So Iowa State was touching 10 days ago?
Yeah.
BYU had them down 20 on the road. Survived in double overtime. Now on a neutral, although you get a great Iowa State support with coming to that tournament.
Sure.
But also BYU
fans travel.
Right. So now Iowa State up to 2.5.
Well, that's
tough. I don't know.
Actually, so you said it opened 1?
Yeah.
Well, that would have been, I mean, based on the previous betting number, they were touching 10 at home.
Down 20 in the game, though.
I know, it did come down, but if you just go based on the point spread, then a neutral, Hilton's worth a bunch of points, but, not nearly that many. So Ken Palm has it, a 4-point game. Iowa State, 77-73.
That's a good one. That's a great game in the 4-5. And the play you like. Old Miss is 3.5 against Arkansas.
Yeah, I kind of like Arkansas in that game.
Okay.
I think they'll win their second consecutive. I'll probably get to bet them on the money line and the points. But then after that, they're going to get the number 1 team in the country. Well, previously anyway, with Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where the run's going to come to an end.
I remember number 1 under team, St. Louis. They're 3.5 against Davidson. 141.5 the total. Huge bubble game in the Big East. Marquette 2.5 against Xavier. 4-5 game. 144.5 the total.
Ken Palm has Marquette 75-71.
Okay.
In that game.
All right.
What are you seeing for San Diego State and Boise? Anything out there yet?
It's Boise's 1.
Boise's 1.
Yeah. How about the respect?
Ken Palm has San Diego State -1.
I got to take San Diego State. Yep. This line just went up. New Mexico's 14.5 against San Jose State. That's at noon. The Boise games follows it in the 4-5. And the G-Bank, best bet of the day, right back with North Carolina. 5.5 against Wake Forest. A chance to double up on their quad 1 wins and get to 2. Then they would meet Duke. North Carolina laying 5.5 tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Pacific. Best bets brought to you by G-Bank, official bank of VEASAN. G-Bank up in the ante with a $750 bonus for the new G-Bank Visa Signature Card customers. New customers who spend $1,000 on eligible purchases within 90 days from account opening get a $250 bonus. If you spend $50,000 on gaming and sports app loads within the 30 days of account opening, you get another $500 bonus. A $750 bonus. Apply now. VSiN.com/GBank. Subject to credit approval.
So Nick Bogdanovich makes North Carolina 5. And Bart Torvik and Ken Palm on their sites also, they have North Carolina winning by like a 5-point favorite anyway in that game. I think I'm going to bet Carolina anyway for the game, but I'm definitely going to bet them for the first half if it's 2.5. That'll be on the card for tomorrow. They came out today like that. That's again, they're desperate, but they're actually like talented, and they've been playing well. So I know I threw that same word around for Iowa, but Iowa kind of stinks. So North Carolina, they've been clubbing teams, and they had that lead in the second half at home against Duke before they eventually, lost and couldn't cover a big number in that game.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to come out again tomorrow with their hair on fire. And sometimes, again, like Colorado today, I like a team that already played once and won a game. They roll it over to the second game. That team that they played, they don't have a game in pocket at this point. So I will be on North Carolina in the first half in that game if the number is where it should be.
Beat Florida State by 11. Beat Miami by 20. Beat Virginia Tech 91-59. Beat Notre Dame by 20. Only beat Syracuse by 6. Beat NC State by 24. Beat Virginia by 15. This is the run they're on against these teams, right?
Yeah.
Beat Cal by 26. Beat SMU by 15. I just think it's by margin. It's a comfortable win.
Come on, Texas, make your free throws.
76-68, 47 seconds?
Yeah.
Got that? Okay.
Yeah, come on. Keep making your free throws.
This is big for the second half, too.
The second half total or for the number?
No, for the number.
Yeah, well, I guess the total's right there with it, too. But Texas, by the way, they have basically controlled the entire game. Vandy's missed 9 free throws today. Texas missed 7. That'll kill it on over when you have that bet.
They got out to that early lead, and that was it. Never looked back. Piece of cake.
Come on, boys. Just go down. Give them a 2. You don't have to settle for a 3 here. You're taking your time for some reason. Don't do the dribble nonsense. Take a 3. That's exactly what happened. In and out, no good. They got the offensive rebound. You don't need a three. They're going to give you the two quickly. Now there you go. Turnover, foul, put him at the free throw line.
Or lay it in.
28.5 seconds left.
All right. Yeah.
I'm going to have a heart attack either at the airport or watching young kids finish out college basketball games.
Mm-hmm.
That's my prediction. That's how I'm going to die.
Look at McNeese screwing around here. 17 minutes left, up 3.
Neither team has scored in the second half, and we are 2.5 minutes in almost.
Nope. Oh, boy. This is getting squeaky bum time. 14-point favorite here.
Lamar's actually 5-1 now on the money line to win the game.
Yeah.
They were plus 450 at halftime. They're still plus 9.5 in the game.
I saw like 7-8-1 before the game. They're down 3 with 17 minutes. I think the 5-1. They didn't have a halftime. They didn't have a money line on the second half here. I couldn't believe it. But it was plus 450. I'll get it during the break.
This is where the algorithm in Texas missing free throws. That's what now? 20 missed free throws in this game today? That's fun. The McNeese power rating and the algorithm are going to be lined up here until the 10-minute mark unless this game, stays close.
Yep. There was a 5-point game yesterday, and they were still the dog was still like 14, 12-1 to win the game. It's like a 5-point game with 4 or 5 minutes left. I mean,
all right, we'll update you on the latest news that we have in the NBA. A monstrous card tonight, some huge matchups. Who's in, who's out, point spread movement. That's coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All right, score one for the good guys. A lot of chase points at the end. Texas 79, Vandy 72. It goes over 148.5. So the second half ended up flying over the total as well. I didn't think so, man. Those teams they missed a ton of free throws combined, but that's a good one to have. 2-0 on the show then today. Those bets. NBA tonight.
Rozier available to play. Finally. Illness.
Did you see that video that was making the rounds of a recent game?
Did not.
Oh, my God, Paul, I have to show it to you.
Sounds like you got a cold, fella. I don't think so. Me neither. This is bizarre.
He, if anything pops off a television screen or your phone as looking fishy or not exactly on the up and up, it would be this montage of Rozier in a game. That's all I'm saying. It's impossible to be that bad.
I would not play him if I would not play him. I
would look better than that playing in the NBA than he did in this video that made the rounds on social media.
Okay.
That's how bad it was.
Interesting. All right.
Okay, so there's in the big game tonight that we have Oklahoma City and Boston.
Yep.
So we'll update who's in, who's out. You already knew that Jalen Williams was not going to play for Oklahoma City. Alex Caruso has now been ruled out for the Thunder. The Celtics, Jaylen Brown is available to play. Jason Tatum is available to play. Al Horford available to play. Moments ago, Kristaps Porzingis ruled out. Celtics hanging on as a 3-point favorite here. Total is 230. That has been bumped up from 229 when we talked about this earlier in the show. What do you want to do?
I got to take the Celtics. And based on coming off the Laker game where you blew the big lead, they have been awesome on this homestand. I got everyone playing. I have to respect the champs here. I have to lay the 2.5 or the 3. There's 2.5s out there. So, revenge angle. Pathetic second half. Credit OKC, but couldn't even score 30 points in the second half. During this homestand, played Denver, the Knicks, the Lakers, and the Cavs, and led every game by 20. Blew one against Cleveland, almost blew it against the Lakers.
By the way,
Maz is going to light them up too.
Side note, there is at least one sports book out there nationally that will pay you out as a winner when you bet a team in the NBA and they get to a 20-point lead.
Right.
Yep.
Good call. And the other one, I'm dying to bet the over too, because OKC is 21st in defense since the break, and they're number 1 in offense. What has happened here?
I know.
Right? So their scores have been crazy. Your comeback is OKC's in a foul mood. for what happened against Denver, but then again, it was bad defense, but certainly Denver made every shot, and they were awesome as well. And the gift that keeps on giving, which I cannot believe, Denver's 12-1 on back-to-backs. But I'm taking the Celtics at home. And if you want to find a good money line price, you can attack it as well.
Let me ask you this, just to play devil's advocate here. Is it possible, and I know there's no Caruso or Jalen Williams tonight, but at full strength, with the guys that they have on the perimeter, I'm talking about defensively now, and how they match up against how the Celtics operate on offense, right? Ton of threes, a lot of wing players, you know who they are and what they do. Is it possible that Oklahoma City is just a bad matchup for this? Like the one, maybe outside of Cleveland, the one potential bad matchup in the NBA for Boston?
I think Denver's a worse matchup.
For Boston?
Yes. The Joker factor. Absolutely.
I don't trust the depth.
Well,
I think Oklahoma City,
I trust the best player in the world.
No,
and,
I know.
I wish we got it last year. It didn't work out. They choked. So be it. I'm not going to cry about it. But I do think Cleveland's more of a difficult matchup. Believe it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Now it still goes back to you got to prove it to me though. You're right. Now it's the historically the number one point differential. What they're doing. It's all time good. What OKC is doing.
It is, yeah.
But it's a whole different ball game once we get to the playoffs. And if you have to face Luka and LeBron in the second round, or it's Joker second round, whatever it could be, see who gets the 4-5, how that works out. My God, Golden State. It's another one. They're like 12-1 since when Jimmy plays. But you got to prove it to me after what happened last year. You got to do this. You know, LeBron's got the awards. LeBron has the MVPs and the rings. Luka, what he's done, going to the finals twice. You got to win some of these big games. So I just think, prove it to me in the second round this year, but here I have to go Boston. This is the other thing where this is Boston's, quote, Super Bowl with what's left of the season, again, as I talked about. They're locked into the 2 seed. They can't catch the Cavs, and they're going to hold off the Knicks, and no one can catch them there as well. So this is, again, when Boston's got this circle.
Yeah, and also let's go back in time here for 1 minute to really talk about this game even deeper. If you look at both these teams' schedules, the Celtics, if you go back to last Thursday, they set a ton of guys against the 76ers because they wanted to prep for Saturday's marquee matchup on national TV against the Lakers. They put everything into that game. Well, then the perfect sandwich spot of the season was on deck as they took on Utah, and they opened up a 17-point favorite. They barely won the game. They set a ton of people. That was, I think, to get ready for tonight, although there's no Porzingis. Now, on the flip side, you have Oklahoma City coming off that back-to-back at home against Denver. Now, if that was flipped, I would like Boston even more tonight. If Joker would have done what he did in Game 1 and the Nuggets won that game, and then Oklahoma City came back in Game 2 and won like they did in Game 1, I'd come back and say, well, the Celtics are clearly the right side. But now you have Oklahoma City here pissed off. It was their worst game of the entire year by a mile.
Uh-huh. Great handicap. Great game. Make a case for both sides.
Yeah.
And having said that, the totals moved 3.5 points. 233.5 down to 230.
Now stabilizing back to to where it is now.
Also, this race for who's going to make the play-in, the odds continue to shift, but Atlanta's minus 295, Miami's $1.90, Orlando's $1.35. The Bulls are minus $8 now to participate in the play-in.
They are winning games on accident.
Yep.
They're going to make the playoffs by accident.
Toronto's
or the play-in anyway.
Yep, Toronto's 8-1. Again, one of the easiest schedules remaining. Philly 10-1. Dallas minus 180, Phoenix plus 120, Minnesota minus 120. And the Wolves got to get out. They want to get out of that in the worst way. And again, top 4 easiest remaining schedules. They're catching 3 tonight in Denver. But
it's a great spot for Minnesota.
Yeah.
I mean, we just talked about that, right? With what they put their players through and how badly they wanted to come back. And it did not go well for them in the fourth quarter of that first game against Oklahoma City. They bounced back, played their perfect game, and now with 1 day in between here in Minnesota, I get it. The competition here in this 5-game winning streak, it has not been great, but they are playing really good basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a terrible spot for Denver and a great spot for Minnesota, and they have 4 consecutive wins over the Nuggets.
Right. Your big one is Dallas and San Antonio from a prop standpoint, because San Antonio everyone eats when they play the Spurs and how bad they've been defensively. So what this run that Marshall's been on. Dinwiddie finally played a good game, but we only have 7 guys. And with guys on minutes restrictions, and you can't sign anyone because it puts you over the apron, is bananas. So this defense is all-time bad since Wemby was out for the year. Washington's back, and they were getting 6.5 in the last game and torched them and dropped over 133 points. So the total's now moved up 10 points based on the last meeting.
Oh, Jesus.
And it's a baseball series here as well. And Klay Thompson is $1.15 to score 20 points. He also went off. But between it being a track meet and they've let go of the rope and they're not playing any defense, I think you come back and take Dallas again. Because Dallas also knows it's a great opportunity where you can gain ground on Phoenix, like they just did in the last game. And Phoenix has a such a tough schedule remaining as well.
Sure. I'm shopping around for more numbers right now. Is P.J. Washington going to play in tonight's game?
Well, he's listed, yeah. And there's props up on him.
I know. I see 15.5 with the points on him. Boy, if he plays, I think you really have to like Dallas in this game.
Yeah.
And the other one, Max Christie, he is at 13.5 points. Just by giving it a cursory look here, I don't see... Is Marshall playing?
He's not listed.
Right? I would think that he's going to play, but I don't... I, that's probably one of the guys, like, they're getting carried out on this guy for people who bet props recently.
Yeah.
So they probably want to wait until 30 minutes before game time to post him. It's similarly... Well, it's similar to when the Celtics rule out like 6 guys and they take on a bad team. They wait... Some of them wait as long as possible to put up Payne Pritchard. Because they know as soon as they post them, it's just going to be ding, 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 ding. Everybody's going to bet it's over.
Grimes is 19.5.
He has more 30-point games this year than Paul George.
He just got the guy. I love it. That's an all-time great stat. That's hilarious. Oh.
It's also embarrassing for anybody who ever wants to back Paul George as an overall player in this league.
Yep. Harden again. We got hooked yesterday, 25.5.
I think there are better options for tonight.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who's been great is Zubac. And again, Magic Johnson just gave him away. That guy has been awesome.
I think the guy that you have to go to war with tonight would be Jaden McDaniels with the points, rebounds, and the assists at 21.5.
All right.
Been so good lately.
3-point move now. Pete laying 2.5. Clippers on a back-to-back and Kawhi's out. Miami's been dreadful, though, since the Butler trade. Be careful.
I follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Matt Youmans on the program coming up next. He has a bet for tonight, 2 for tomorrow, and 7 conference futures. Find out his best bets next here on Follow the Money.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Heavy dose of college basketball coming at you. VSiN host Matt Youmans joins the program now. He's on the progressive guest line. We like to call him the Big Ted Kid in these parts. You want to focus on this game that we have coming up a little bit later on tonight. Rutgers taking on USC. I'm thinking about going on the over here, although the betting market disagrees with me on that one. Matt, which side or total do you like in this game?
Market disagrees with you and me in this game, and it concerns me a little bit. I was talking with Chris Massaro about this game this afternoon over at the Westgate Superbook. I bet Rutgers last night, and I got off a little bit of that bet today. Rutgers was a 1-point favorite at Circa when I left last night, and then flipped to a 1-point dog at Circa, which concerns me a little bit because in these conference tournaments, when the numbers been moving and the lines stink, they stink for a reason. And it's happened 4 or 5 times now. And this line stinks to me because I think Rutgers should be the favorite in this game. I actually made Rutgers 1.5. I think Greg Hoops Peterson had that number up on his projections as well. If you watch the USC-UCLA game Saturday night at Pauly Pavilion, USC was a crap show in that game. Trojans have lost. They have 1 win in the last 7. And the 1 win was against last place Washington. And about, I want to say, 2.5 weeks ago, USC went to Rutgers, and the Scarlet Knights dropped 95 points on them, 95-85 win. And Rutgers 3-2 in the last 5, and one of those losses was that Michigan miracle shot at the buzzer. So Scarlet Knights are in pretty good form, and they obviously have 2 of the best freshmen in the country, probably 2 top 10 draft picks in Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper. I like Rutgers in this game. It concerns me a little bit that the betting market disagrees. I know Chris likes the over. You like the over. I agree with that. I ended up having just a very small bet on this game because, and these conference tournament games have been crazy the last couple of days.
Absolutely. Let's go to Thursday. Condolences. This was one of the worst beats of the season. You were on Indiana when they went to Oregon, went to Eugene. Now they meet tomorrow in the Big Ten tournament. Indiana plus 2.5 against the Ducks.
Yeah, Nick Bogdanovich was on that too, and I think he said that's as bad as it gets because Indiana, if you don't remember, had a 64-63 lead with 1:30 to go. And we're getting 6.5 or 7 in that game. Jackson Shelstad hit a three-pointer from about 38 feet with the shot clock running down, and Indiana ends up losing by 9, 73-64. That was brutal. That was about as bad as that Virginia Tech loss yesterday. But Indiana drops that game, but the Hoosiers been pretty good recently, 5-2 in the last 7, including that loss to Oregon on March 4th. So I like the way the Hoosiers are playing, and I'm not really crazy about the Oregon Ducks form, especially away from home. I want to tell you guys a crazy fact. I do like Indiana in this game. You know the Big Ten tournament's been going on for more than 25 years. Do you know Indiana has never won it?
Not once.
Wow.
Ah, jeez.
That's amazing, too, because the tournament's in Indianapolis more than half the time. Indiana's never won it, but I do like Indiana as a 2.5-point dog against the Ducks tomorrow.
I'm with you here, and I bet this as well. And I don't have a lot of X's and O's and analysis, and it just goes back to I trust this program, and I trust them on this floor, in this spot, every March. The 4-5 game out here, San Diego State getting 1.5 against Boise, and also the Aztecs blew them out in the last meeting. Well, how do you break this one down?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm on the same page. You have a hard time sitting there. You can't talk for 3 minutes about why you think San Diego State's a great bet in this game. And a lot of it comes down to pedigree, history and pedigree, and what the Aztecs have done in this tournament and what they do in this conference. I was actually at Viejas Arena in San Diego on February 15th, and I watched the Aztecs completely take apart Boise. It was 64-47 final, and it was not that close. And the Aztecs swept both games from Boise, beat them on the road. You can say all that stuff about it's tough to beat a good team 3 times, and there is some truth to that. But I do trust San Diego State and Brian Dutcher in this type of setting, this conference tournament setting. They were a little bit disappointed with their finish in the regular season. They can make up for that here in the conference tournament. And Nick Boyd, Miles Bird, B.J. Davis, 3 good guards who are really playing well. Paul, I think you and I got burned. We bet the Aztecs against UNLV about 10 days ago at the Thomas Mack Center. And Julian Rishwain for UNLV hit 6 of 9 threes. That guy hadn't hit a shot for a month. And they hit 6 threes that night, and the Rebels get the win. Well, I think San Diego State's a pretty good bet against Boise. I'll say they get the 3-game sweep over the Broncos. I don't want to say the wrong team's favored, but San Diego State plus 1.5 is my bet here.
Right. Well, you live with it, too. I mean, we've lived here 25 years. Yeah. This is a game the Aztecs always win, and if the kid had to have an out-of-body experience to beat us, so be it. So this conference tournament's wide open. Colorado State's hot. They played their way on the bubble. They just blew out Boise. Colorado State is the 2 seed. They will meet Nevada tomorrow. How about the Rams 4-1 to win it?
Yeah, I actually got plus 450 yesterday, but I do like the Rams 4-1, plus 375, whatever you can get. I bet a lot more on the conference tournament futures than I have on the individual games. And one of the reasons is, if you get these teams that you like and you get them to the championship game at a good number, you're in a great position to make money off that futures bet. And here in the Mountain West, I split it up a little bit. I bet Colorado State at plus 450, and I got San Diego State at 7-1. So I bet one team in each bracket. San Diego State's in the top half with New Mexico. Lobos have not been very good away from home this season. That's one weakness. And I think Aztecs might be able to take advantage of that. In the bottom half of the bracket, Colorado State's the hottest team in the Mountain West coming into the tournament. And I think where the Rams won 7 straight coming into the tournament. They're in the bottom half of the bracket with Utah State. Aggies are certainly beatable, especially away from home. So I'd love to see a Colorado State, San Diego State championship game. But I think you got a great chance to get at least one of those teams to the title game, and I think Colorado State's got the better shot. So if you can get 4-1 on the Rams, definitely like that bet. I know JVT did the write-up on the Mountain West Conference for vsin.com. And I know he's all in on Colorado State on this bet as well.
Yeah, I like it as well. Okay, so we also agree on this one. It's you can't bet a team minus $4 to win a conference tournament. That's outrageous on a straight bet anyway. So where did you find some value potentially here in the ACC tournament?
So the bottom half of the bracket is Louisville and Clemson. And I went ahead and took 7-1 with Clemson. Tigers are the only team to beat Duke in ACC play. And I believe in this Clemson team. You got veterans who went to the Elite Eight last year. Brad Brownell finally got over the hump in the tournament. The thing is, does Duke deserve to be a big odds-on favorite in this? Yeah, hell yeah. Duke deserves to be an odds-on favorite. So I'm not going to say it's mispriced at -$4, but how about if you bet Clemson here to win this tournament? And I think Clemson's clearly the second-best team in the league. You know, Louisville has not defeated a ranked team since November, and I think that was Indiana when the Hoosiers were ranked at the time. So I took the second-best team in the ACC, Clemson plus 700. And then if Clemson gets to the championship game against Duke, we can do something with that bet.
Do you think UConn's too popular?
You know, I'm surprised how popular UConn has become, because when I wrote this up Sunday night, Monday morning, and I made the bet on UConn, I thought I was going to be kind of a loner on this play because not many people liked UConn. I've seen the Huskies really improve here in the last couple of weeks. I think Dan Hurley's figured this out. And when you look at three-point shooting with UConn, 35.3% from three, that's much better than St. John's, which is shooting 29% from three. I think UConn's got the talent. I think Hurley's starting to figure it out. And, hey, it's March. You hate to bet against Dan Hurley in March. I think, especially when you're playing at the Garden, you can't go wrong betting on UConn. I know Xavier's hot in the conference right now. I think UConn's got a great shot to win the Big East tournament. Like you said, I'm surprised it's gotten so popular, but I think UConn's going to be in that championship game at the Garden, so I took plus 450.
All right. You avoided Houston in the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Nick Bogdanovich told us here at Circus Sports they took a really sharp bet when they offered them at plus 110. Also a very short number in my opinion, although I've done that before to bet it around that number for a team to win the conference tournament. Where did you look beyond the Cougars?
I'm not that high on Houston, and I really feel like the Cougars kind of been begging to get beat recently. They have not been that sharp. Been in a lot of tight games, including against Texas Tech on the road. You remember about 2 weeks ago in Lubbock, Cougars went on the road. Texas Tech was down 2 starters, and Cougars had to scratch and claw to win that game, and they were kind of fortunate to win it and pull away late. I went with Texas Tech, the only team to beat Houston in Big 12 play. I like this Red Raiders team. Number 7 in Kim Palm. They got a top 30 defense. They shoot the three well. They got go-to guys on the offensive end. If Houston's not going to win it, and I certainly don't think Kansas is going to make a run this tournament, I like Texas Tech at plus 425, so that's where I went.
Okay. And then you have 3 others, but we're up against it here. You like Purdue at 7-1, Florida in the SEC at 3-1, and then UC San Diego to win the Big West.
That's right. Purdue gets a great draw in the bottom half of the Big Ten tournament at 7-1. Probably a team out for redemption after a disappointing end to the conference season. I love your Florida pick in the Circa Futures Draft. You're probably better off if the Gators don't win the SEC tournament, but I took 3-1. And UC San Diego, clearly the best team in the Big West.
All right, Matt. Thank you for the time. Best of luck tonight and this week.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yep.
There you go. Matt Youmans, VSiN host on X at Matt Youmans 24/7. A lot of action there. He emptied the Gatling gun, Predator style.
Yes, he did.
We'll try to do the same in-pocket plays coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
To determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it. Take it. Take it.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3-1 odds. Nope. 5-1. Nope. 10-1. You're on.
Easy winner with North Carolina. No problem trying to play their way into the tournament. And I think they do it tomorrow. Coming right back with North Carolina against Wake Forest. I know it's been a horrible year, all-time bad for the ACC, but Duke, UNC, Clemson, Louisville is pretty good semifinal.
Not bad.
That is good. It's coming right back with Notre Dame. It's going to be North Carolina against Wake tomorrow, laying 5.5. Oklahoma tonight, +2. I'm getting in front of this Georgia train, which could be a bad move.
Well, you might want to be like Nigel Seeley says, don't be a moron, put more on it.
It's 3.5?
You can grab 4 now with Oklahoma.
Wow. So Georgia's won 4 in a row, and during that winning streak, they beat Florida, and they pounded Texas and Vandy. Oklahoma needs it to make the tournament, maybe more, but took Oklahoma. Texas Tech to make the Final Four. Also, Suns to make the play-in tournament. $1.05. Still like it. You can get plus 120 now. That was last week. Aztecs, I'm with Youmans. +1 against Boise. I will say it. The wrong team is favored. Trying to go 3-0 against them this year. And just on pedigree, history, program, they've been great out here in this tournament and in the tournament for March with deep runs as well. And that goes back to Kawhi Leonard. Ohio State, Baylor, moneyline parlay. Pays plus 105. Ohio State down 1 last check. Late first half. Baylor, K-State coming up. Celtics money line tonight against OKC. Revenge. Humiliated in the first meeting. 32nd half points, whatever it was. They've been great on this homestand against 4 very good teams. Knicks, Nuggets, Cavs, Lakers led all by 20. And OKC 21st ranked defense since the All-Star break. There you go. And North Carolina 5.5, as I mentioned, and that sounds good. Let's go.
All right. Right now, by the way, to update people live before I get to my bets real quick, McNeese has pulled out to an 8-point lead over Lamar. They are currently laying 8.5 in play.
Time?
5 minutes to go, second half.
Yeah. Okay.
Lamar on the money line is 13-1 or higher. I've seen 13, 15-1 down by 8.
This is fascinating.
The McNeese power ratings.
Right. It was just a 4-point game with 7 minutes, and you could grab 7-8-1.
Yeah.
And I did. Yeah.
Okay, so a couple of winners today during the show, which was good. Texas Vanderbilt. Love having action during these shows when we're live on the air. Total game changer from doing it, the mornings. Love the audience in the mornings. It was great. This is a totally dynamic. And by the way, what you hear is what you get. This is how we are in real life. We're watching games at home by ourselves later on at night. Texas Vandy went over North Carolina, no problem against Notre Dame. Had a push on Delaware and Wilmington over 148, and Southern Utah plus 5.5. That was during the show yesterday. That was a loser against Utah Tech. I only have, I've got a couple of pending here for the Players' Championship starting tomorrow. Michael Kim, top 40, even money. Hideki Matsuyama, top 20, plus 140. And only one bet for tonight. Now, sorry, Sacred Heart, that was last night. That was a winner. Sacred Heart covered that game. That was a winner. And Jaden McDaniels is the added bet here tonight. Over 22.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He's been awesome for like the last 8 to 10 games. I'm trying to add some on USC and Rutgers, the total, but it keeps moving as we're live on the air. So I'm not going to wait till it maybe stabilizes here a little bit.
Still time to have the ultimate follow the money experience. Find out what we're like beyond the booth. Grab a VIP cabana, Circus Stadium swim. Spend the day with us, kicking back, blackjack, shots, bets, kiosk right up to the corner, owner's cabana, your own server, your own bathroom, 4 big screens just in that cabana. The thing holds 20 people. Bring your crew anytime. Calendar's up there. Make the dates work. VSiN Beyond the Booth experience. First come, first serve. Dates limited. There it is. Oh, man. VSiN.com/Beyond the Booth. Reserve your day today.
McNeese State's lead down to 5. 4:19 to play in the game. Currently on the money line, minus 4,000. Oh, wow.
What?
Yeah.
Come on. Must be at the free throw line.
And Iowa leads Ohio State.
All right.
They're playing well, 37-34. We're under 30 seconds before halftime.
Good sweat. Good sweat for the Buckeyes. Got to have it.
Well, would you think about coming back now a little bit with the Buckeyes?
Okay, yeah.
Currently, again, wait till halftime here.
Yeah.
But with 25 seconds to play before the half, they're minus 1.5 in the game.
Joel and Artie, last 4 in. Oklahoma, Indiana, Xavier, Ohio State. First 4 out. North Carolina, Boise, Texas, Colorado State. Colorado State plays the 7 seed, Nevada, tomorrow. They're 3.5. This tournament's going to be crazy.
Oh, everybody's lined right next to each other pretty much.
Yeah. That Nevada power rating's high, even though they've had a down year.
I heard this the other day. Steve Alford was asked about retiring at the end of this year. He said no, he shot it down.
Oh, really?
But my life flashed before my eyes.
What? I've been coaching that long?
I was like, oh, my God.
Well, I guess he was on the 86 team, wasn't he?
Yeah, 86, 87.
So he was with Missouri State. He was Iowa. He was UCLA. Wolf, I'm missing a spot, Nevada.
As the great,
New Mexico. New Mexico.
As the great Brian Blessing used to say, I felt like I had one foot in the grave and one on a banana peel.
That's right.
I'm like, wait a second. He's going to retire?
Well, I'm sure. Yeah, he's made a ton of cash.
I know that, but I never once gave it a thought. Like he's been coaching for whatever, quarter century more, whatever it's been.
Can I argue that the best move so far is the Bills getting Bosa?
If he stays healthy.
That's my comeback. That's if he stays healthy. I can't believe the Niners didn't get him.
I think it's a clear upgrade over Von Miller at this point in their careers. And I would say when you're trying to track down and beat, Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow and other quarterbacks in the AFC, you want as many guys who are going to be healthy and effective on the defensive line. So, we thought that Buffalo would have been ultimately would have been a good landing spot for Myles Garrett had they actually traded him, speaking of the Browns. So if they re-signed him, then why not go out? And Bosa clearly is not on the same level as Myles Garrett, but just to go out there and try and make an effort to bring in somebody that can help bolster that defensive line, I think it's great.
Cup was released. Cowboys interested. Packers.
I saw Green Bay. What does he have left?
I know, that's a good question.
And will Aaron Rodgers end up somebody by the end of this week?
Don't drag it out. He can't drag it out. These teams have to know what they're going to do right? But it's wild what's going to happen here to Pittsburgh if they can't agree on money with Rodgers, because Wilson is taking meetings with the Giants and the Browns. Then what are they going to do? If you can't get Rodgers, what's your plan C?
So what if the Giants don't land anybody, though?
That's all right. As you said earlier, all they have is Tommy Cutlets.
And they're picking 3. What if they're going to have to give up the farm to go to number 1 because the Browns could take, Cam Ward at number 2.
How about Winston with the Giants? How about Winston in New York?
Because what are you going to do? Are you going to bring in? Are you going to just have Tommy Cutlets go out there?
No, you're not.
He's the only quarterback on the roster, but so who's going to be the guy that you're going to bring in? Like if you don't land Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers, you're going to have to. You can't not be content at number 3 in the draft. They're going to be stuck. They're going to be forced.
Yeah.
The Titans are going to be in an unbelievable position at that point.
Yep. Still Cousins is out there.
Wow. Boy.
I don't know. I know it's tough, man.
Would you like Cousins to Pittsburgh?
Yes. If that's all I have,
I actually think Cousins to Pittsburgh would be much better than Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
You don't want Rodgers and Metcalf and Pickens and whatever. That's a horrible combination.
Yep. This reminds me of St. Francis, Long Island, Part 2 playing out. Lamar is down 5 with 3 minutes. They're 12-1 on the money line.
Oh.
Well, now they're down 7. But before that, same situation with Long Island and St. Francis. And Long Island blew it in regulation. But McNeese just got the big bucket to go up 7. That is the championship of the Southland. The winner is in.
Wow.
And McNeese got in last year. Everyone picked him. The lights were too bright. Gonzaga pounded him.
Let me give you one more game. It's on the docket. It starts here at the very top of the hour.
Patriot move?
No.
Okay.
In the ACC, the Stanford-Cal game, I saw this open up. I think it was 4 at one spot.
Okay, yes.
It's up to 7.5 right now. People are betting Stanford like they already have the score tomorrow.
Yeah, right. Double overtime game.
For
3.5 point move, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Who would Pitt play? What was the game? Was that Pitt? Notre Dame? They called the foul with less than 1 second left in a tie game?
That was absolutely absurd what happened.
Capo lost his mind. Good for him.
I'm not going to say it was worse than the foul on Giannis last night, but it was still really, really bad.
All right. Great job, guys. Back tomorrow. It's going to get nuts tomorrow. And great session. Ton of people here in the book, and they have 1st to 10 up on every game. Murray and Von Tobel up next. VSiN Primetime. Cashing out Joe Serralo, 11 p.m. And by the book, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Bruce Marshall tomorrow. The Meat Man's on. I'm missing someone.
Stanford Steve's on the program.
Steve, yes, with picks. There you go. It'll be fun.